What's up, everybody? This is Cyrus here with Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics. I'm a little bit sick right now. I probably look a little bit pale, more pale than usual, that is, if such a thing is possible. Today I want to talk about the concept of meeting other people while you're out of body. So this would mean being able to identify somebody in the astral projection state, get their contact info, and then find them here in this dimension, in this reality. As weird as this sounds, it seems to be something that people have reportedly done. Now for me, I've been doing astral projection for a while, but I haven't quite hit this point yet, but I've had some interesting experiences that I will share. And I will point out that one thing I have done is I've been able to meet dead people and confirm their identities on this side. And I talk more about that in my book, The Afterlife and Beyond. So this would mean getting their information, then looking them up and finding an obituary or finding like a Facebook memorial page. Well, I have been able to do that. I have not been able to meet somebody who is basically sleeping on this side and astral projecting and appearing on that side. Now, I do know people who have done that. As an example, we have Kensho, the out-of-body teacher, a bit of an indie author, and he has a book called Out-of-Body Experiences, a practical guide to exploring the astral plane. And he has reported extensively about meeting up with people that he meets on that side. He does joint tandem astral out-of-body experiences with his teacher, and he even recounted an experience once of meeting somebody who would later become a co-worker, but they had been meeting and hanging out astrally before they met on this side. So pretty crazy stories. I'm perpetually interested in this concept, and it's been on my mind a lot, and I really want to have a breakthrough, because then I can report it on this channel, on afterlifetopics.com, on the group, and that would be spectacular. But it's difficult sometimes when projecting to remember things that you want to do. Usually you're caught up in the moment, or your memories and thoughts are a bit scrambled, and it's difficult to think back like, oh, I wanted to do this and that. And it takes a lot of practice, I think, to be able to get a handle on that. So I do want to share a story about an experience I had just this morning. So again, I am kind of sick. I don't know what I'm sick with. It's like I've had fatigue and just very tired, and it hit me like 3 days ago. I thought it was some kind of a hyperglycemic thing, so I was kind of freaked out. But then yesterday it hit me all the way, and I just felt lethargic and sick feeling and kind of flu-ish. And so I don't know, it could be some kind of weird flu, maybe an extraterrestrial superbug out to get everybody. I have no idea, but I do have to work my day job later, so I think I just have to trudge through it, don't I? Alright, so that being said, I was a little bit sick, and I think this was helping induce some astral experiences. I don't know why, but I kept falling back to sleep and going out of my body again and again, which I'm okay with because it was good. I had some cool stuff go on. And so when I was popping up out of my body, I found myself in basically what is the same place I've appeared at many times, which is there's this kind of Mexican beach resort on the astral side, and I identify it actually as being an island off the coast of Mexico, again on the astral version of Earth. And it's kind of a resort place, but I would say almost half of my experiences take place here now, and I believe that basically I live there on the astral side. So I have some kind of a house or something there at this place with a parallel life on that side. So most of the time now, when I have an astral experience, it seems like I'm popping up there. It's where I normally am. And this time around, I identified myself as being with my mom, and she was looking better these days. She looked like she was maybe in her 40s. So so that was nice. And I recall walking with her on the beach, and I was just kind of popping into my awareness on that side. And we were walking along the beach, and then we found that there was a crowd of people because there was a magician performing. Now, don't ask me how a magician stays in business on the other side, where you can basically perform real magic, but he was a pretty popular guy, and it looked like he had a TV crew there as well. You might be thinking, that's crazy, Cyrus, come on, there's no such thing as a TV crew, and the afterlife, and the answer is that there's pretty much everything that's here, that's there, except then a whole lot more to go with it. That's the best way I can describe it. So I stopped to watch this guy, and basically the trick that he was performing was he made up this spiel about how there was some ruins under the water that from when the Germans came to the island, and the Germans were masters of hiding things, and they didn't want the natives to steal their supplies, so they were able to hide all their beer under the ocean in the you know in the on the seafloor. So then he would dive under the water and dig up like a bottle of beer, and it was like an ice cold beer, and like the lid was already off. Then he would give it to one of the guys, people basically partying on the beach, and it was there was no seawater inside of the beer. So it's actually a very, very clever trick, and it was very good beer. And so I recall I drank one. Wait a second, Cyrus, you can't drink alcohol on the astral plane. What are you talking about? Well, in fact, again, you can do anything you want there that you can do here. I'll talk more about that in other videos, but inevitably people say that. So I just like to preempt people saying that. So you can still say that if you want, but if you ask astral explorers, then they're probably going to have different ideas about it. So this guy was kind of a celebrity. That was the indication I had. And again, this is kind of a resort place, so maybe they were filming some kind of reality TV show. You know those like magic ones where it's a little bit kind of goofy, and I don't know. But the guy reminded me a lot of somebody I've seen on TV. Now I'm not saying this was him, but he reminded me a lot of this guy, Adam Conover, from the show Adam Ruins Everything. Like he looked like the guy, had his demeanor, but I don't think it was him. Just he just reminded me a little bit of this guy. So I decided to track this guy down, because now I'm lucid. I'm in this state. I'm lucid. I'm able to talk to my mom, and it's nice, having that experience. But then I'm like, I gotta do something. So I decided to make a beeline for where this guy was. So I caught him like basically backstage. And actually, at this point, I woke up already, and I'm kind of checking my temperature and stuff, and then I went back to bed, and then after I went back to bed, I was back there, and then I was looking for this guy. So that's kind of the timeline. So I catch this guy basically backstage, and I decide, I need to try to talk to this guy. So he was not too interested in basically talking to anybody from like the audience or whatnot. Like he was not too thrilled about the fact that I had gone backstage to try to talk to him. So I just kind of pushed past like the other people in his like cabin or his office or whatever, and I say, hey, and I don't remember the guy's name. I'll just call him Adam in homage to Adam Conover here. I'll say, hey Adam, my name is Cyrus. If you can just give me a moment of your time, here's what's going on with me, okay? I am astral projecting right now. That means I have a life on, what they call the earth plane, and I'm here at the same time. Are you familiar with these concepts? And he's like, at this point, he's reclining in his chair, and he's just like, who is this guy? And I tell him that, and if, he still looks like he wants me the hell out of his cabin. But then he stops and thinks. He's like, yeah, I know what you mean, though. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about. And somehow I knew that this guy had a life on this side, like he was also a magician or something on our plane. I don't know how I knew this, but basically I walked up to him and I said, look, if somehow we can contact each other back on the other side, and when you're on that side, the other side is this side. So I said, if you can contact me on the other side, or I can contact you, and then we can publicize that, that's going to make world history. Is this something that you're interested in doing? And now I had his full attention. He's like, yes, that is something I'm interested in doing. He's kind of saying, I never thought, I hadn't really thought about that concept before, but it's really interesting idea, and he basically affirmed that he did have a parallel life on this side, and that this was possible. So he's like, okay, I'm game. How do we do this? So I said, okay, let me find a way for you to contact me. So I pulled out my wallet. It's the same wallet I have on this side, and I start thinking, do I have a business card that relates to that side? And it's kind of a stupid idea. Like, why would I keep a business card in my wallet of my contact info in another dimension? But then again, given the kind of stuff I do, it's a possibility, right? So I start looking through my wallet, and sure enough, I find one of my Afterlife Topics business cards. So I give him the business card. I say, look, this is afterlifetopics.com. I study this stuff. I talk about this stuff on YouTube. This is a way that you can reach out and contact me, and then let me also give you my personal email address. So I whipped out a pen, and I put down the beginning of my personal address, CyrusK4@gmail. So I got the G, the M, and the A, and then I said to him, I'm waking up, buddy. I'm going away. And then I woke up. But I'm sure it's possible to infer that GMA is gmail.com. So that was that experience. I got the contact info out to him. He did seem to confirm, whoever this guy was, the guy who kind of looks like Adam from Adam Ruins Everything. He seemed to confirm that he had a parallel life on this side, and that it would be possible for us to get in contact with each other. So why do I think that this is not going to happen? I think it's not going to happen because there's no evidence that somebody I meet on that side who has an incarnation on this side is necessarily going to have memory on this side of his life there. You only have memory of your life there if you practice astral projection. Not everybody does that. At best, if you meet some random person and they have an incarnation here, they will only remember you as like a faded memory or like some kind of jumbled dream after they wake up, and they will never think, this dream character I met suggested that I check out some website or go to some email address. They'll either not remember what the email address was, or they will not take it seriously enough to follow up on it. So that's the most common situation. They'll think, oh, it was just a dream that I had. So unless you meet another seasoned astral traveler, I don't think that you should get your hopes up in a situation like this that they're going to follow through and contact you. That being said, I have heard stories of this happening. I've even heard stories of people meeting their significant other in an astral state, getting the contact info down, contacting each other, and then they meet on this side and fall in love. I've heard that story a couple times too. A lot of this stuff is difficult to verify, but if I write another book, which I will write another book because that's what I do, is I write books, I will most likely really go into this subject because it's one of the most interesting ways to verify the existence of these things is when multiple people can corroborate having been on that side and then re-meeting on this side. But again, it requires a lot of variables, and one of the biggest variables it requires is that people have to be actual astral projection people. They have to be on that side and able to recall what's happening, not having a dream, not having a lucid dream, having a real experience on that side, and then they can come back to this body and remember what's going on. And you also have these time discrepancies too. So I've heard about people meeting on that side, meeting here, and then, like the experiences are like a week apart. So one person 1 week meets somebody, then a week later, that person has the corresponding experience. That's because of the huge time discrepancies between both realms. And that's a factor as well. So there's a lot of variables. Do I think this guy's going to contact me? Probably not. But it's fun. It's worth a shot doing. And I do think, generally speaking, the mistake that I made was me giving him my contact info first, because I thought I'd give him my contact info, then I'd get his, but I didn't think the experience would end right then. But you should always assume the experience is about to end, and then you try to get their contact info. So when I met an individual who I verified his identity on Earth after he had died, that's what I did, is I got his contact info first, and then I woke up and I remembered like his full name, and it was an unusual enough name that I was able to track it down. But within seconds of waking up, I jumped out of bed and wrote the name down and stuck it in Facebook. And sure enough, up came the same guy I met. It was his memorial page. So that was how I did it. I should have done it with this guy the same way, because I'm the one astral projecting. So it's on me to be able to remember their contact info. So I hope I can make up for that the next time if an opportunity comes along again. Alright guys, this is Cyrus. In case you're wondering what the weird noise is in the background, we have a new puppy in the house and we're trying to crate him, and he flips out in the afternoons because he doesn't like being in his crate. Well anyway, yeah, if you like this kind of thing, please hit subscribe to keep this little tiny channel going. Maybe someday I'll look back and when the channel has 100,000 subscribers and be like, those were the days when I only had 300 subscribers and I was begging for people to subscribe. But that is where we're at right now. So if you want to help out, please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, we have a much bigger group on Facebook than this little YouTube channel called Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics, where you can join the conversation. Almost 8,000 people at this point. And we have, I have a couple of books on the shelves, Understanding Life After Death and the Afterlife and Beyond. You can find links to those by clicking on Show More. You can head to Afterlife Topics. You can check out our classes twice a week at Afterlife University. That's afterlifetopics.com/university. So there's all ways to get involved, and that's about it. I will talk to you guys next time.